Hello everybody, welcome back to Fans React. This is FanCast episode 12. Today we've got Shaun Middleton. Most of you will know who he is. Thanks for coming on, Shaun.
All right, no problem.
Thank you very much. Anyway, how have you been coping? I'm currently in isolation at the moment. I've got, I think, about 4 or 5 days left to go. Have you been affected by it at all? How are you coping with all these lockdowns and restrictions?
Well, obviously I'm back at work now. I had the 2 weeks off of Christmas. I work at Nissan driving the cars. But obviously we've got like bubbles at work and stuff, and we're still working. We've worked our way through, but there's just you're hearing rumours even now, obviously with the new restrictions, maybe the 3 meters thing and this, that, and the other. But now I'm still working. I'm fine. I feel sorry for the people what's struggling with mental health and stuff like Paul. But my heart goes out to them. And I mean, I think the day was it was the highest recorded deaths since the pandemic actually started, which is really, really, really sad, to be fair. I think it was something like 1,500 people lost their lives at the end. I mean, my heart goes out all of them who's affected by that,
Yeah, definitely. I don't think it's going anywhere soon. I think 2021 is going to be pretty much the same as 2020. Just my opinion, but. Worked at Nissan. I used to work there a long time ago, just on the assembly line. It wasn't the cool bit driving the cars out, but I absolutely hated it there. But it was all right money, so I stayed around for a little while.
I would say obviously driving the cars not too bad. I mean, you see that like the lads on the line on the plant. It's I mean, if you want to go to the toilet, you can like pull the lever and let the team leader or the supervisor know. It's pretty strict on there. But I suppose outside it's not as bad. But then you've got the weather in the winter. I mean, when it's freezing and it's snowing, I mean, that people see it must be good driving the cars, but then you've got to put that into perspective as well, Paul. You know what I mean?
Oh, big style. Yeah, I remember somebody. I can't remember exactly, but it was if you have to stop the line, it costs thousands per second or something.
One of my friends, I say my friends. He worked on the other shift. I'm not going to name him, obviously, for thingy, but he fell asleep with the wheel, crashed one of the cars, and then that obviously he stopped the road basically, so that I cut the roof off and get him out of the car, and actually obviously they stopped the line, and it cost them thousands of pounds. Like, but it's serious. Like, it's serious.
Yeah, anyway, so most people, in fact everybody, really should either know you from Twitter or from SAFCFanTV. You've been doing that over 2 years now. How are you finding it?
I mean, it's great. I think it's with the games being played behind closed doors, it's sort of affected my job in a sense, because obviously, as you know, I go to all the games, the home games, the away games, most of the away games if I can get there. I can get tickets. So obviously the pandemic hasn't really helped with that sort of thing. But we've done the Thursday night live shows, the Sunday shows, and obviously I've done interviews here and there. But I mean, interviewed the fans at the seafront, in the town centres a couple of times. But you're sort of restricted, Paul. You know what I mean? I interviewed William Storey as well, and I think the channel's doing good. But I'm just a bit disappointed. Like I thought would have hit 5K. I mean, I always try to set high targets, and you want to be the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the dates, and I still, we still haven't hit 5K, but we'll get there eventually.
Oh, definitely.
It just feels like the subscribers are sort of slowing down a little bit, and we need to sort of, you know what I mean? That's the only disappointing thing about it. But as a whole team, I think we all doing really well, and I think it's the channel's grown, but it's just that's only like sort of negative thing is the subscribers. You know what I mean? Well, we could get more. I mean, look at Jam Sani, he's got 12,000 subscribers. My Mistake's got nearly 10. You know what I mean?
How long have they been doing it though? They've been doing it a while.
That's true. I think they've been doing it a few years. Like, you know what I mean? Joel, he's brilliant. I mean, I love Joel. He's a great lad. He's got a great channel there. Like as yourself, you've set a great channel up, and it's, you know what I mean, you've got some lovely lads on your channel there. Omar, I love Omar. He's great. Young Matthew, Jack Dodds, Tim, as a Tim
Tim Birch.
Obviously, they're all good lads. I mean, obviously, I didn't know all the names, but they were like the 4 ones that I know. But Umar's a great. I've interviewed Umar down one of the games outside the Stadium Light. And I've taught him. He's a lovely lad, and obviously I'm over the moon. He's a part of the channel because he's a great kid too. Like,
he's a great lad. He sort of corrected me a few times because I used to call him Umar. He prefers to be called Umar, just for future reference.
That's right. He actually has told me that in the thingy. He says, "Oh, you see me here wrong," and he's tried to tell us a few times, but apologies.
Yeah, no. He is a great lad, though. I love having them. Like you see, I've got a great set of lads. But anyway, as back to the SAFCFanTV, I do want to ask. You do the interviews you've mentioned there. You did them outside the stadium for a while, and then it went to the pubs, obviously with lockdown and things like that. I'm just going to show a bit of footage of that while we talk. But if you could just explain how you felt starting to do that, were you nervous, and how you think that's going, and like how you think it's going to go in the future?
Well, I'd say that's always I'm obviously interviewing. I done an interview with Jam Sani, and he was saying how to start out and stuff. And how it first started for me was obviously Ray Philly, the boss. He's got a YouTube channel, and obviously I was subscribed to his channel, and I was just flicking through, and one day I just seen it. He just said he was setting a new channel up, and then obviously the SAFCFanTV come up, and he says we're wanting reporters, and I just like sort of reporters. So I was like thinking, so I was sitting there thinking. I was going, reporters. Like, obviously, a fan TV. I'm thinking it's going to be the same as like Arsenal fan TV. I mean, all big clubs have got them now. And I was thinking, myself, what should I do? And I was thinking, I don't know. And then I was debating about it. I was talking to Philly for a while. I was emailing, and we were talking, and then we met up, and we had a little talk and this, that, and the other. And then, obviously, the first game was Oxford. And the night before, I admit I was pretty nervous. And I was actually debating whether if I was going to go ahead and do it, if I was going to go ahead and do it, and I was texting Dino as well, because obviously Dino was my cameraman at that time, and I was like, I was nervous, I admit, and then obviously the day of the match, went to the pub, me and Dino met up, and we were just talking about this, that, and the other, we're going to do things, and it was pretty nervous, but you know what? Once I'd done the first two, first three. It just sort of like, I mean, if you watch them back at the start, you can see how nervous I was. But then you see how the games have gone on, and I've sort of just progressed, and you just at the end of it, you're just like, it's just like second nature. You didn't really think about it, and it just comes natural. But when I first done it, I understand when I first done it, I was really nervous at the start. I didn't sleep much. A lot of people say about the away games as well. I mean. Notably the Lincoln away, the Bolton away. Obviously, when we got beaten, the people has been drinking alcohol all day, and they're angry, and they want to attack up on somebody. People say, "How do you do that?" You know what I mean? How do you sort of like? I don't know. I'm not really bothered. To be fair, it's like you do what you got a job to do, and I know sometimes just our lads are we're being beaten. Something that people. It's in the day, it's just people voicing their opinion of the club they love, and they're just like, when we lose a game, it's not great, but when they want to vent their frustrations out and express their feelings, that's what the channel's for. Yeah,
I got so total sort of admiration for anybody that can do that, because for me, I'd be terrible. I'd be scared shitless. I swear to God. I know for a fact I would be. But it's like what you see. I mean, I know I work in an airport. When I first started there, I was working in security, and I was on the archway waiting for the passengers to come through. And obviously, I was going to have to body search somebody at some point, and I was really nervous about it. And somebody said to us, like, the people coming through, they just think that you've been there for years. So just. Even if you do it wrong, they're not going to know. So I suppose in the same sense with you, if they're coming out, they don't know how long you've been doing it. Most of them don't know how long you've been doing it. So you just, you can just blag it, really. But yeah, I think I've just showed it before this interview here. It was my favourite one. I haven't got the audio, but you can see the reaction from the fans there. Absolutely. I remember watching that after the game. I thought, that's brilliant. He's done such a great job there. So things like that, you must get a good feeling from it as well, do you?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, when we get beat, it's it's not great, it's awful. But I sort of, when we get beat, say the Bolton game, the Lincoln, the Shrewsbury game, you just sort of, you've got to like forget about what's happening around you, and if that makes sense, just forget everything what's going around you. Just do your intro, get the camera thing sorted, and then you just got to just focus, just obviously just talk about the game, and that's a bit. I mean, at the Bolton game, and I mean that was really bad. I mean, we're drew 1-1, but we're nearly getting beat off a side, but they were rock bottom. They were getting beat every week, like they were getting beat by big numbers as well. Let's be honest. And then us go out there and we'll scrape a draw on a very hot summer's day as well. And 2.5 hour journey. People, it's obviously I think we took 5,000-6,000 fans down that day. They've been drinking on the way down, drinking at half time. So they've been pretty chemist in it, putting it blatantly. But it's I suppose I say it can be hard, but you just, like you say, you just focus. I just stay focused and just sort of forget what's happening around. But I think you've probably seen a lot of the videos where people are going past the camera and they're doing this, that, and the other. But you just got to stay focused and just switch on. That's how I see it, really. But
yeah, definitely. You also do live streams now. You do a Sunday bunch, which you've done for quite a while. I used to do it together, and it's now virtual like this. And you also have a Thursday show. So it's taken up loads of your time. How do you think it's going to go in the future? Are you happy with the lads, everything, the way it's working out so far?
Well, I mean, it's Conrad's just come on board. He's obviously he's the editor now. I think my lad called Lee, and we've got a good setup, to be fair. Obviously Jacob does the interviews, but he obviously lives down south. But obviously he does them when like he comes up. I don't know if there's any sort of plans to get somebody else in like down the line. I don't know. I think we've got a good setup. I mean, there's a lot of people give us praise to something. I mean, Michael Bowers his football knowledge is great. Dino, people call him the Dominator, but he says it how it is, and I think he likes an argument though half the time, Dino. I think if you watch the Sunday bunch, he'd say before we're going live, there's going to be arguments. There's going to be arguments. I know he's going to be trying to wind me or Michael up, and he's sort of getting ready. But it makes good sort of viewing if people bickering and arguing. I mean, Philly's obviously the boss. Terry's he's sort of like second in command. We've got a good setup, but I think, like I said, the only disappointment for me is the subscribers. I mean, I thought we would have been, we're on 4,850 now. I think we're 140 or something. I just thought we would have been a lot more subscribers than what we are. That's the only sort of downfall of it in a sense. I mean, I think we've done really well, and I'll see we put 100% in, but that's the only sort of downside. I thought it would have been a lot more subscribers than what we've got.
And I'm sure pretty much everybody that watches this channel will already be subscribed. But if you're not, the link will be below to SAFCFanTV. So if you haven't subscribed, go over, obviously check that out. I'll also put a link to Shaun's Twitter. I think I've got it on here anyway. I'll put it on.
That's Shaun Middleton 66.
That's the one, Shaun Middleton 66.
Right. But please follow us on Twitter, because I'm not on any other form of social media. I'm not on Facebook, not on Instagram. So just Twitter. Yeah.
If you look at the little ticker section, everybody, I've got it down there, so you can add it any time you want. Right, we'll crack on. And so, have you ever thought about setting up your own channel? Is it something that you might be doing in the future? I'm not putting on the spot there. I've been thinking about it quite a lot. I mean, I don't know. I've been toying with the idea for a while now. You don't have to give anything away. Obviously,
no.
You still.
Like you see, I'm dedicated to the fan TV at the moment, and things is going well. I suppose, and I mean, I've been asked loads of people if I want to do my own thing, do my own channel. I suppose it's just a case of just watch this space, but I think all my time at the minute is just, like, to be fair, is with SAFCFanTV. You know, Philly, he's you know, he showed a lot of loyalty towards me, and I've got to sort of show a lot of loyalty back in a sense. And that's what I think it is in a sense. I mean, during the lockdown, I mean, the last one, when I was off for 5 months. I mean, I was struggling a little bit. You know, I think a lot of people were. And you sort of like overthink things because you've got nothing else to do. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, I was going through a bit of a bad time, but I think we all were. And I've come out with that. And, I mean, look at the channel now. We're doing well. You can never see a never. I think it's just a case of if you took that step and you've done it. I mean, Michael's got his own channel. You know, the Mammoth Steak has. It wouldn't be you know, if I got my channel, I could still do SAFCFanTV. I mean, you know, I could do them both. I mean, I think my mistakes said that before. But then, what would I do? I mean, look at the YouTubers now. We've got. I mean, we're sort of privileged with what we've got. I mean, Jarlsy, great lad, great channel. You've got. I mean, Jamson, he's on 12,000 subscribers. He's fantastic, lovely lad, nosy stuff. The Man Mistake, he's great. Thean SFC, you've got a great channel going now, and that's only going to get bigger and better. You've got. Sorry if I've missed anybody out there, because there's quite a few. I tell you another one who's good at SFC, David. He's good. He's straight to the point. He argues a lot on Twitter a little bit, like he does that, but he's just very he's very opinionated, and he speaks his mind. But he's got a great channel. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing I was thinking about, Paul, as well. If you set your own channel up, you sort of you're up against like these, Michael Bowers and your Jamsonies and your Man Mistakes. And for me, if I was to set one up, I want to be the best, and that's not to being arrogant or big headed. That's just the way I am, and I want to be better than people and everybody else. You know what I mean? And I love the Jam Charlie, and I love My Mistake and Michael Bowers, but I want to be. If I set me on channel, I want to be doing it and be better than them. You know what I mean? And that's something, in a thingy sort of sense. But that's what I've got to bear in mind as well. If I did make a step into doing my own channel.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of it's down to personality. You got the personality. You got lots of fans that like you. I mean, I know clearly it's clear for people to see. So that's what they'll probably start signing up for, and it would grow in time anyway if you wanted to do so. Obviously, you get the positive thing, people out there giving you praise, but there's also, as you mentioned, a lot of negativity online, especially on Twitter. Does that affect you at all? How do you cope with
that? Well. To be fair, I mean, I take it pretty well. I mean, it can be hard at times. I mean, I don't know if the William Story situation, that was what happened was, I might as well just while I'm on the subject, the William Story interview. It was a case of when he said he was coming up. There was a few times we were planning on doing it, and it didn't materialise. It fell through for whatever reason. The thing I didn't get about the whole thing about William Story and the amount of abuse I got was he interviewed Nick Barnes interviewed him on the radio. Jeff Brown did for the BBC, James Hunter did for the Chronicle, who was a really good reporter, reliable, lovely, reliable journalist. But then Shaun Middleton from SAFCFanTV does an interview with him, and he gets all this abuse, and that's what I didn't understand about the whole thing. And people say it's the way you went about it. I was thinking, well, he was just the one that was sort of, well, it was you what actually got us talking at first, wasn't it? You was the one that got us talking at first. And obviously we were talking on the phone for quite some time, a few months actually. And he was just telling us how his plans for the club and this, that, and the other. And like I say, when it eventually happened, it was on the Saturday. We did see he was coming up, and it did fall through a few times, but eventually this time it was happening. I've got my cameraman set and everything. But unfortunately for me, the bad time was Boris Johnson just announced to the nation that the British public were only getting 1 day instead of 5. And then obviously I did the interview. I didn't know this. Do you know what I mean? And then it just didn't go down very well. Put the picture up, which you've probably seen the picture, and there was a lot of animosity. But it was bad timing on my behalf. I didn't know what had happened. But it's one of them. Yeah. But like you see, it was a great interview. I thought it was good, and I thought William spoke really well. I think I got everything across what I needed to ask. I think there was only one thing I didn't get across, and that was the the situation in Formula One with the horse team. He said that was going to get cleared up in due course, but like that's the only thing I didn't ask. But he did tell us that on the phone. He rang us quite a few times, and he did explain that on the phone. But I forgot to mention that on the actual interview. But I thought the interview was really good. I mean, unfortunately for him, he didn't get the club in the end. It was obviously it's been it's thinking now that's KLD, and he's going to be owning 59% of the shares now, and going to be the owner and the chairman. But like I say about the abuse on Twitter and stuff, you've got to. I was talking to Philly about this. Was a couple of days after. I think it might have been the day after actually. And I was asking how I was and that, and I was fine. It was pretty bad that night. Like, to be fair, I got a few phone calls, which is nice, Paul. One of my best friends, Alan Thompson, who I knew from school. Sorry, I grew up with him. He rang us, and it was quite nice. And I got some good messages as well. What's he called? Charlotte Crosby's dad, Gary Crosby. Charlotte Crosby's dad. He actually messages and he said, taking notes of people, this, that, and the other. It's just keyboard warriors, this, that, and the other. And it's nice that people, I see it nice. It wasn't nice that they're saying all that, but it was nice that people were sending nice messages and stuff, like, the next year and the day after and stuff. But I think it just comes with the territory, Paul. You've, obviously I put myself out there, and I said this to Dino before when we first set it up and stuff, because Dino when he first was coming on the Sunday a bunch, I was trying to talk him. I was trying to say to him, just come on. He was thinking about it, and he went, I said, well, once you do it though, you're putting yourself out there, and you're open to all avenues, all abuse, and it's not right. It's not fair, but that's just the world we live in now, Paul. Unfortunately, mate, and you just got to deal with it. And I think I deal with it really well. To be fair, I mean, with people giving us abuse now, I just take no notice. To be fair,
I personally think you dealt with it really well. I mean, it was like celebrities of not getting that much abuse before. It was really impressive. And like you say, the interview was good. I was one of the people that was quite happy for. I liked William's story, and I liked what he had to say. As for the Formula One thing, I'm a massive Formula One fan. I know how political and corrupt it can be, so I wouldn't believe anything that sort of comes from that side of it. But yeah, he didn't get it, so we have to move on from that. I don't know. Hopefully, I just wish him success in the future with whatever he decides to do. But yeah, we'll move on a little bit more towards actual Sunderland related stuff. We've played Port Vale at home the other day in the Pizza Cup or whatever you want to call it. 2-0 win. I didn't watch the game. I was too busy. Had jobs that the girlfriend wanted to do, so I was busy. But Matthew Lead gave us a bit of an update on a video that I posted recently. He seemed to think we played quite well. How do you think the game went?
Oh, well, I done a live stream, and obviously for the match, me and Philly's on the live stream. And do you know what? I looked at the teams. I've got them written down here. I looked at the teams. I was going, that's a strong squad. That for like the Papa John's Trophy. I was expecting a lot of changes. I mean, a lot of the youngsters coming in. I was expecting Mitchell Kerry to come in. I thought Jack Diamond might have started, but you've got to think Jack Diamond now he's actually starting in the first 11. Do you know what I mean? I thought there would have been more youngsters given a chance on the night, but it was a strong squad. I know he's probably thinking, if we win this game in the quarterfinals, and then when he sort of, a couple of games off Wembley, I know he's looking at that. But getting back to the game, I thought we played really. The first half was probably the best 45 I've seen this season. We were outstanding. I mean, standout performers. Josh Gowan was good for me. He was getting the ball. He was from just in front of the defence. He's bringing it out. He was asking for it. He was turning. He was doing a lot of the good things. Right. Lyndon Gooch looked lively. He looked energetic. He was making a lot of runs. He made some good passes. Max Power right back. I don't rate him in midfield, which I don't rate Max Power, but he didn't do too bad right back. He's at a couple of position where we could utilise him. The defence didn't really have much to do. The only disappointing thing for me was Chris Maguire. I thought he's off the ball. His first touch was poor. In fact, to be fair, I think he's been poor the last few games. That's why he hasn't been starting. And he started, and he said his touch was lazy. His touch was sloppy. He wasn't really out, like, to be fair. And I wasn't surprised when he went off. I thought Aidan O'Brien. I thought he'd done well. It was probably the best game he's played since joining Sunderland. I mean, he played well in the Carabao Cup, the first round when we got beat to Hull. That was one of his best games, but he hasn't done anything since then, to be fair. But I thought Ian O'Brien on that night was terrific. He was holding the ball up well. He was laying it off well. He played really well. He was using a bit of skill. But for me, and sorry, Dan Neil as well. Dan Neil played really well in the first half. I'm not sure why he got took off. I don't know if it was a knock or something, but he got took off for Ledbetter. But for me, the standout performer was Elliot Embleton. He was absolutely brilliant. I mean, if he can, rediscover that form and he can be consistent and play that at a consistent level, we've got a player there who's got quality. I mean, he showed all the Sunderland fans last night what he can do. Now what he's got to do is try and keep fit, itch his way to that first team. Once he gets his chance, take it. Because last night he was brilliant. He'd done some excellent pieces of skill, through balls, turning. He was unlucky with a couple of shots. It was a standout performer for me last night, and I'm just hoping now he can kick on. He can be consistent. I think that's the word. Try and be consistent with his performances, and obviously try and stay fit because he has had a lot of injuries as well. But I thought, on a whole, the first half was class. I mean, second half wasn't great. I don't know what it was with the second half, but we were a little bit shaky, a little bit sloppy with the passing, and then obviously Portfield. I think they felt that, and I think they just thought, well, we might just go for it and try and make a goal. And there's a couple of scary moments, don't get us wrong, Paul, but we managed to keep the clean sheet in the end. Obviously, Aidan McGeady, when he come in as well, because I think Lee Johnson had 3 subs on the 72nd minute, and that was good as well. I think because Lee Johnson was saying that, and he went, it's not working here, I need to change it. He made 3 subs, and that's the thing what he's done different to Parkinson. When things are not working, you can see that, and you've got to use your show. You've got 5 subs to use them, Paul. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He took Maguire off. Maguire was sloppy. He brought on Aidan McGeady, and like to see Aidan McGeady flashes of brilliance when he come on. He looked like the couple of crosses he done was absolutely brilliant. He done an excellent cross to Charlie White, and I don't know how Charlie White didn't score, to be fair. If he heads it either side to goal, but it was an absolutely fantastic cross, and I think McGeady was brilliant when he come on. And I think if he can, like you say, if he can get back to the way he was a couple of years ago and get back to that sharpness, we've got a great player there. But on a whole, I thought we played well in the first half. 1-2 good in the second half, but we 1-2 and they kept a clean sheet. Went to the next round, Paul. So it was happy days.
Yeah. You mentioned Max Power there. This guy here, he started at right back. Is that right?
Yeah. I started right back. He's been in the last 2 games. I think when McLaughlin got took off in the last game, I don't know if it was tactical. I think Jacob was saying it could be tactical, but I don't think it was tactical. I think it was just the injury to McLaughlin. Power, he's actually done well there. He done well there last night. Not only Paul Field, the League 2, the mid-table League 2 side. So you probably would say, well, you're not really going to get much of a threat. But he just looks a bit more settled there than when he's in the middle. When he's in the middle of the park, he just I don't know what it is. He just looks out of his depth, and he just looks like disorientated at times, and he's just like as if he's just strolling by and he's just hiding at the wave games. You know what I mean? Yeah. But right back could be his position now, Paul. That could be. He could play right back, and then 09 when he comes back and we try 09 in the middle. You know what I mean? It's worth a try.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think of Fairleigh Johnson and so far? He's had a few games now. He's obviously being disrupted because of this COVID and games being suspended and things like that. But overall, are you happy with his tactics, the way he's playing, setting out? And do you think he's going to be good enough to get us promoted this season?
This season, I'm not sure about this season, Paul. That's a good. I think anyone else is that. I mean, I was thinking about this a day at work, and you're thinking of different stuff. Like, doing a podcast, I'm thinking of things what we talk about. But I knew this would come up. I think Lee Johnson. I think Lee Johnson's the right man. I'm not gonna. Me and Conrad had this discussion in a couple of times actually, and I think he's done a great job at Bristol City. He's done a fantastic job. Doing well at Barnsley as well. Oldham, not too bad. I mean, his win ratio wasn't great, but I think he was in the Championship. But like I say, I think it's a good appointment. And I don't want to sound doom and gloom here, but I think maybe this window maybe it's just come too soon for him. I think he might need the summer. That's not me writing the season off, because that's just, it's a negative way of thinking. It's not acceptable. Someone getting promoted for, staying in this division for another season would be a catastrophic, wouldn't it? It'd be absolutely, it wouldn't be bad thinking about. But I just think with the squad the way it is, with KLD still not confirmed yet, with the salary cap as well, his hands might be tied a little bit. I mean, James Hunter said that he doesn't expect many signings. I mean, if we bring three players in, what's going to make a difference? It's an improvement. But I just think maybe it might have come too soon for him. But then you look on the plus side, I mean, you've got Elliot Hamilton there. He signed that Carl Winchester. He could be a good sign, hopefully. Apparently he's good at keeping the ball, can spear the ball around. I still believe the squad is good enough to get in the playoffs, but I would like to see the top two off, Paul, because that's negative as well. The top two, it's going to be hard. I mean, I think Tom White of Sky Sports, I think he said before, we're going to have to we're going to have to go on a really, really good run where we're, win about 10 games, on a 15-game run, or win 12 and draw a couple and maybe just lose one, like a really good run. And can we do that? I'm not too sure. I think we need to bring a striker in, obviously, as well, in this window if we can, because, I mean, Charlie White's done a good job, but he's not going to be sort of, I mean, he might get 15 goals, 20 max. I don't have to get 20, but when you need somebody who's going to put a ball in the net and get a goal out of nothing. Can we get in this window? I don't know. But Fairleigh Johnson, he's got a massive job on his hands, Paul, as you know yourself. But I like his enthusiasm. I like he's 39. He's young. He looks like when he needs to make decisions, he'll make them. He likes to play a 4-3-3 system, which is proactive as well. It's not a negative type of style of player. It's an attacking formation. And he's brought McGeady back as well. McGeady on his day, as we know, his first season, he was the best player in the league. If he can rediscover that form, then we've got a player there as well. It's all ifs and buts, but I mean, I think what we're best to get now for me is probably the playoffs. I think the top two will be a really, really hard ask now. But you can never say never. And I mean, I'd love to see us get in the top two. I think it'd be absolutely brilliant if we could. But I think Lee Johnson, with the new one who's coming in, just get this winner, try his best this window. If we didn't camp this season, back them in the summer, get rid of all the dead. We'll get rid of all the crap, all the shite. Sorry for swearing. And then obviously bring his players in. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think it could be the case. So, but I'm not saying right this season because that's negative and that's the wrong way to approach it. But we can still do it, of course we can, but it's going to be very hard.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I'm always overly optimistic about everything. I'm still believing in the automatic promotion. I've said before loads of times, I never ever predict a draw or a defeat, because in this league, it just if you're predicting a draw, for me, it's like, well, what's the point? Really, we should be going for every team in this league. But you mentioned there briefly about White, getting the odd goal and needing a striker coming in if we can. If you don't mind, tell us, who would you like to see leave? And you don't have to give names, but like you've said, striker, is there any other positions that you think we need to sort of upgrade?
I think we've been linked with the defender today, but I think we're all right in defence because Joe Willis has come back. I think in the middle of the park, I'm hoping this Carl Winchester is a good signing because I think that's where we're lacking. But obviously, if he's a good player and he's in there with scouting rediscover his form, and you got Ledbetter, then that frees up too bad. I think it's just power being in there. It's not good enough. I think Dobson's been saying today that he wants to be away. He's not getting first team football. So if he leaves, that'll free up a slot to bring another midfielder in. I'd love us to sign Liam Walsh. I've said it many times. He played for Coventry last season, and he was in a League One team, and what a player in this division. I mean, by the sounds of it though, he sounds a bit like that Carl Winchester, where he keeps the ball. He's not flappy about it. He can keep it. He can hold it. He can take the pressure off the team when we're under the cosh. You know what I mean? That's the type of player we need right now. But this Winchester, if he's that type of player, he could slot in there well. But I'd love us to, if we got rid of Dobson, I'd love us to get Liam Walsh in, but I can't see it. Striker wise, obviously White's done great. To be fair, he scored 7 goals in a very defensive type of team with Parkinson. But if I could get a striker, I'm not quite sure about strikers I would get, but I mean, you could look in the loan markets, Paul, in the Premier League. I mean, you've got some really good youngsters, or you could just search the loan markets and search the Premier League sides. I'm sure there'll be some strikers in there who you'd be able to attract us. We're a massive club, no matter which way you look at it. We'll always be a big club. So these youngsters, you know, the Premier League clubs will loan them out and get them games and get them a bit, you know, like game time, score some goals, and it builds them up as well. So, I mean, that what's he called from? Is it Nanjali? Is it Nanjali? He went to Turkey, I think, didn't he? I think he just become free. I don't know if he's went anywhere though, but we should have went in the summer. He scored 20 odd goals for Blackpool, who's scoring a lot of goals. I mean, he would be a good addition as well, but I can't say that either, Paul, to be fair. Like.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough, mate. Moving on a little bit, obviously, actually, sorry, before moving on, I just wanted to ask you about Danny Graham and Will Grigg. Should they leave or should they stay?
Oh, good. Well, at the start of the season, I actually said I said that them two would get us the goals and stuff, but you know, you see things, and I also said about Max Power. If it was the captain, I said that was a mistake by Parkinson that we wouldn't finish in the top two. But like you say, Grigg and back to what you said, Grigg and Graham. I mean, they haven't scored any goals. It's not. I mean, well. Danny Graham scored in the Papa John's Trophy, but not in the league or any other sort of competition. But to me, Will Grigg's out injured. I think Danny Graham's really done much. Are they getting much service though, Paul? At the same time, are they getting much service? You know, limited sort of chances in a squad like ours. Yeah, they haven't really get. But you look at it and you see the Charlton game where Danny Graham has 2 sitters. Will Grigg's missed it. They have had chances as well, haven't they? They have had chances throughout the season, and they have missed a lot as well. But if it would bring a striker in like Nanjali, and you could obviously release one of them two, then I would see it go for it. Do you know what I mean? Right. I think we might as well sort of not so much cut our losses, but Will Grigg cost us 3 million. I don't think we're going to get any. We're not going to get that back now. We're probably not going to get $1 million back from him when we do eventually sell him. It's sad, like, but I think we could do with a striker, somebody who's going to put the ball on the net. We're desperate for a striker, because you can't just rely on Wyke, because not being disrespectful, Wyke's done the job, but you need somebody who's going to be prolific if you want to finish in the top two. Yeah,
definitely. Right, now we can move on to the question I wanted to ask you. I think I know who's one of these might be anyway. So I want to know your current favourite player at Sunderland and your favourite player at Sunderland of all time. And I want to know why they're your favourite players as well.
Right. My favourite player, obviously currently, obviously the guy who's he's been out for a year. I listened to the podcast he had with Danny Collins, and it was quite interesting to hear what he said about Parkinson. Because you hear one side of it, and you hear, oh, he's done this and he's done that. But it was nice to hear his side of the argument as well. Aidan McGeady, I think I know he hasn't played for a long time, but he's got that quality. And I mean, last night when he come on, you could see he's still got the quality, and he showed like that sharpness and the skill, and you know, bringing the ball down in the air and turning it and getting the ball moving, and the crosses he puts in as well to Wyke was absolutely brilliant. I mean, if you're a striker and that cross was coming from McGeady, it was just pinpoint. All you got to do is just put in the net, header it, put in the back of the net. It's a goal. But like I say, Charlie Wyke missed, but Aidan McGeady is, you know, he's my favourite player currently. I think he's in that first season he was brilliant until he got the injury right near the end of the season. I think that's what scuppered our top two. To be fair, because Jack Ross didn't know what to do after that. But Aidan McGeady, I think when he's there, I know he's getting on now, but he's still got that quality. And let's hope he can just keep fit, rediscover that form he had in that first season. Like, show that skill and the class he's got, and you never know, he could be the secret weapon this season, Paul. Also, my favourite player of all time is a guy who I absolutely love. Obviously, I first started going to Roker Park, and I used to love it. I was thinking about this today. I used to love walking through the streets of Roker and Fulwell, and you see the stadium, and set on the other. But when we moved to the Stadium of Light, that's when this guy, he signed in 1997. And you know what? He's a lovely guy as well. I went out to the museum. My good friend James Pickman, his dad's former player Nick Pickman. We obviously went in there, and he come over and he was talking to us for about 5-10 minutes. And what a lovely guy he is. But more than anything else, he was a Sunderland legend. I think he spent 6 years here, and he was, you know, I love watching him. The goals in that first season was brilliant. I mean, this first season ended in tears when we got beat off Charlton in that famous 4-4 playoff final defeat. But the next season we went up and we dusted ourselves down. Kevin Barr was the captain colossal, and Peter Reid was a great manager. And we brought in Tommy Sorensen, but Kevin Phillips again that season got the goals to get us promoted. He was absolutely brilliant, and now it's there. The only Englishman to win the Golden Boot, Super Kev. He's an absolute legend. He's absolutely loved up there. The supporters, he's just, I just absolutely love the guy, and I'd love to see him come back to the club in some capacity. I mean, I don't know about manager, because you worry, like, if he comes back as the manager, it could go wrong, and it's like, no, it'll be horrible to see it go the other way, where if he took over as the manager and it went sour and he was getting like stick off the fans, sort of wouldn't be very nice. But Super Kev, he was a legend. When he was brilliant. I mean, some of the goals he scored. I mean, we're going for next to nothing as well. Peter Reid, great in the transfer market by bringing him to the club, and Super Kevin Phillips is my all-time favourite Sunderland player, 100%.
Yeah. I think anybody that lived through the Quinn and Phillips era would struggle to pick anybody else other than him. Obviously, Michael Bowers was after that time, so you couldn't really pick him. But for people like us that lived through that, there's no competition, really, is there?
And well, I was do you know what I was thinking? Like, do you know what I love Jermaine Defoe. I fell in love with Jermaine Defoe. I fell in love with him. And Yellen Villa and players like this, Defoe. I mean, imagine if Big Sam had stayed. If Big Sam had stayed that year when we stayed up, we sent Newcastle down. I mean, that game, the Chelsea game, the game we won 3-2. The atmosphere was just unbelievable. Defoe, that goal when he scored, the noise. I've never heard anything in my life. It was just unbelievable. The hairs on the back of your neck. Even just thinking about now, still match, you think, what an unbelievable goal, and what it was occasion. Big Sam as the manager. We had Yannick and Villa in the middle. We had Kabul. We had Coney at the back. We had Van Arlen. We had a great team. I mean, all the players are pulling in the same direction. Just imagine if Big Sam had stayed. I mean, that next season we would have been mid-table at the top half the table. We could have kicked on. It's always ifs and buts or something. It always is. It breaks me heart because I love Defoe. He was a pure professional, and he was only 5'6", and he played it by himself as well. Everybody says to Big Sam, you can't play Defoe up top by himself. He's too small. Well, Big Sam, they played him up top by himself, and what he did, he scored 15, 20 goals in a limitless team. Do you know what I mean? He just defies logic. That man, Jermaine Defoe, close second, absolutely brilliant player. I love that guy as well.
Yeah, totally agree with you. 100%. Respect him for everything he did for the Bradley Lowry thing as well. He's just such a really nice guy, and as you said, he could bang goals in from creating them himself, basically. So, yeah, absolutely love him. You just mentioned there about him scoring that goal. Obviously, you mentioned the atmosphere, so you were there, were you?
It was. It was just unbelievable. It was. I was in that corner actually, and it was just. I mean, when we actually got the equaliser, it was Barini. Because Barini got the equaliser, I think it was the keeper. It was I forget who the keeper was now. It was a check. I'm not sure if it was check. Anyway, the ball, Barini hit it and the ball rolled in. It was 2-2, and that was noisy. But then literally 2 minutes later, we got the ball on the right-hand side. I think it was Yedlin, won it back. He took it down the right, and he crossed it, and it just fell to the 4. And then you just hit it, and you just boom, hit it, and it was just a noise. Jeez, I've heard some noises in that ground. I mean, I could talk about it all day. I mean, 1998 when we played Sheffield United in the playoff, in the second leg playoffs to get to Wembley. We lost the first leg to Bramall Lane, but we returned to come back here. We won and we went to Wembley. But that night was the noise was just it was frightening. It was just I've never heard it was just loud. It was just I've never been in an atmosphere like that. But obviously the derbies after that, and you feel the derby atmosphere. But that Chelsea game, it was something else. That when that goal went in, it was just like, wow. It was just the noise, man. It was just something will live with you forever. You'll never forget that moment. But it's always a case of that season. And if Big Sam had just stayed, it would have been also different.
So would you say that is because one of the questions is what's your worst and best moment of being a Sunderland fan? Would you say the Chelsea game was the best? If it was, fair enough. Tell us your worst. But if it wasn't, give us the best and your worst.
Right. Do you know what? There's been some good moments. I mean, that was a brilliant moment, the Chelsea one. God, I'm trying to think if there was a better one. The Kieran Richardson one was sublime as well. We beat Newcastle in 2008. I was behind the goal. I was in the upper where the away fans are now. It was me, three lads from work. What used to work at MKL. Richardson hit the free kick, and obviously we were down. I think I fell down the stairs at one point, and it was that noise that day was unreal. The Barini one where we won 2-1 against Newcastle again. I was in the northeast corner, and I was when he hit it, it was always going in. I'm trying to think what the best moment is being a Sunderland fan. I think that night in the Old Trafford game as well, that was someone else. I mean, when we got the League Cup final in 2014, I think. 2014, I think, was it?
Yeah, I think so.
We're thinking Man United, and we got to think that was a special night. I mean, I think we took something like 12 to 14,000 at Old Trafford that night, and the midweek game that was something else as well. You put us on the spot here. I'm trying to think what my best feeling as a Sunderland fan. I'll probably say that the fourth thing was probably the best. But then you got the 3-0 as well. The one where we beat Newcastle 3-0, and then on the counter attack when Kabul lobs the ball over, and then Stephen Fletcher volley bump 3-0. That was great as well. That was a great day. I'll tell you what was great as well. What was absolutely brilliant was just before Christmas. It was when I don't know, like I mentioned, but we're not the scorer, but we beat Newcastle just before Christmas, and it was. That was probably the best Christmas I ever had by us winning that game. It was so late. The goal, I think, was the 90th minute, and we scored, and it was just diving all out. And it was just obviously beating Newcastle at their place as well. And that's so late on. It was just probably made your Christmas even more special. So that was another special night, to be fair. But there's been some good nights, but there's also been, I mean, the worst time for me personally is the 1998, the playoff final at Charlton. I was only a young lad time. My dad and my uncle we drove down in the car. My dad's he's not a big Sunderland fan. He watches us now, but he's not like sort of he doesn't really like proper love it like I do. But he does follow us and likes to see us do well. And he has sort of last couple of years watches. But that day was it was so heartbreaking. I think the first time I cried in a football match was probably in 1990 when we lost in the World Cup when we're on penalties, England versus Germany. And then that was the first time I actually cried my eyes out. It was I even get upset now thinking about it. It was just so close, close to getting to the World Cup final. So close. It was like Gazza getting booked and then seeing Gazza get upset. It brings it back, and then the penalties was just God. It's always penalties. It's always penalties though, isn't it, with England? But
painful.
That was the playoff final, and then in 1990 the World Cup getting beat off Germany when we put so much effort in. Lineker, Chris Waddle, Gazza. I mean, Terry, the whole team. It was Stewart Pearce, Mr. Penalty, Waddle, Mr. Penalty. I was crying my eyes out. I was only a young lad, but like you say, the 1998 playoff final, that was another one where you just think 1-0 half time, Mendonca, who works at Nissan, the pantomime on that day. He scored, and second half will come out, we equalised, and then we scored. We were winning 2-1. After that, we were on the up, and they equalised 2-2. Then we scored. Then every time we scored, they just seemed to respond. You know what I mean? And then in extra time, I just couldn't bear to watch the extra. It was awful, but the penalties, oh God, so sad. Spins it back now, and when Mickey Gray walked up, I just had that feeling when he's walking up. I'm going, can't be telling me. I'm going, he's going to miss this. That's not. I just knew. And when he hit it, it was a bad penalty. When it was really, really bad. But you know, I just cried my eyes out. It was horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's good to know that you've had a lot of happy memories as well, because a lot of people, you know, they struggle to remember a lot of the happy memories. You seem to remember the bad, don't you? But yeah, you can tell you've had a lot of good ones, so that's good to hear. If I was to give you a zero risk bet, so if I said, there you go, Shaun, there's £1,000, mate. Get yourself the bookies tomorrow. I want you to put a bet on of when you think Sunderland's going to be back in the Premiership. Whatever you win is yours. Just give us me £1,000 back. When would you put us as going back up to the Premiership?
Oh God, I would say it's all about this KLD. I mean, if we get back to the Championship, has he got the? Well, he's got the money. I mean, his mum's got the money. Definitely got the money. And he's got £2 billion in a trust fund. So if he's ambitious and he really wants us to, if he wants to have a go at it, I would say between 2 to 5 years, realistically.
Yeah.
I would say realistically. I mean, if we don't go up this season, I think I've got a feeling. I mean, touch wood. If we don't go up this season, I think we'll go up next year. But people say it's going to be even harder with the salary cap and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see us obviously go up this year because you know, you want to see us go up, and I think it's still possible. It's not, you know, it's not an impossible task. I mean, the leagues, it's wild. When look at Charlton last night, 4-4 against Rochdale, who we all tipped to be the side to go down easily. I mean, there were odds on 1-4 with the bookies, Paul. Rochdale, I put them absolute bankers to go down, and the draw 4-4 with Charlton. But you know, I would say I'm always trying to be positive. And I mean, look at Wolves. They did a double promotion. Can you imagine if we get from up with this season and then Lee Johnson gets backed in the Championship, and then we get another? And that's hypothetically speaking. And I'm dreaming here. You know, I'm getting a bit excited. But you know, that's what you want. You want the happy times to return, and you don't want to be stuck in this division, man. It's so destroying. It's depressing. But you know, I would say realistically, I'd say between 2 and 4 years. I mean, 2 to 5 max. We've got to be getting back to the Premier League. We're a massive club. It's so sad to see where we are now. But the good thing is, Stewart Donald now will not be calling the shots anymore. I think it was rumoured in the Times, Paul, that he's going to get 59% of the shares, so that's good. So that's classed as an official takeover because 50% or more is classed as a takeover. I mean, I know he's going to be in the back room. Him and Meffen's going to, I think Donald will have 15, Meffen will have 6. So Todd keep his 20. But KLD he'll be the ones calling the shots, and if he's ambitious and he's hungry, let's hope he is, and he's got the people behind, and he can do a good job and he can get back to where we should be, and that's the Premier League.
Yeah, definitely. Well, on Saturday we need to start by getting another 3 points. We've got AFC Wimbledon. Haven't won in 5 games. I think they've drew 1 of them and lost 4. How do you think that game's going to go? And would you mind giving us a prediction as well for that one, please?
Do you know what? After I always try to be optimistic, Paul. And now you've got to be realistic as well. Like people give Dano a lot of stick, but at least the one thing about Dano is he says it how it is, and he is realistic. Maybe I'm a bit too like, you know, I just try to think, oh, we'll do this and we'll do that, but maybe Dano says it exactly how it is. But I think you know, our players seem to be getting back to strength now. There was loads of positives from me the other night. I mean, people can, you know, you never please everybody, Paul. You know, on Twitter, if we won 5, that would still have something to twist about. Yeah. But you look at the youngsters. I mean, look, Elliot Emerson was class. He was absolutely class the other night. If they can, you know, replicate that form and they can be consistent, there's a new player there. Do you know what I mean? There's a new player. So going to the Wimbledon game, I'm actually going to be confident. I'm going to put my neck on the line here. I'm going to go for 3-0, a 3-0 win to Sunderland. I'm going to get a stick for that, but I want to see.
Yeah, well, I'd snap your hands off. I'd snap your hands off for that right now. I would take a 1-0 win off Griggs' backside, but 3-0 would be even better. As long as we get 3 points, yeah, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, good performance would definitely help.
Paul, it's all about for me. Yeah.
Look,
for me, it's about the league. I mean, I know it was good the other night. It was us winning in the Papa John's Trophy. It was good. And I mean, there's a chance we can win that competition all well. But for me, it's about the league now. We've got to try and get it going and running. It starts on Saturday against Wimbledon. Like you say, we've got to win that game and just try and be consistent now. And it's going to be hard, but if we just keep in contention, then you never know. It's possible. You can't say it's. I mean, we're only 3 points off 6th place. We've got some games to play up as well. I just think a lot of the players now, they're going to have to start putting shifts in and proving to they want to play for this club and wear the shirt with pride, because that's all the Sunderland fans want, is them some players to wear the shirt with pride and give 100%. And if they give 100%, then nothing to matter. Just go on that pitch and leave everything on that pitch.
Yeah, definitely. Right, well, I did leave it a very short notice, but I did ask on Twitter if anybody had any questions for you. I did get. I've got one here from Dregsy Tweets. I think you know who he is on there. He's asked which one of you was Elsie. Now that's a bit of a. It's a bit of a private joke. I think if you're not on Twitter, you won't really know what that is. But I think it's basically, I don't know a lot about it, but it's basically somebody's created a fake account. I had loads of Sunderland fans join it, a pretty lady, and I think it's obviously been proven to be fake. Something along them lines.
All right.
So yeah, we've also had.
I'll just.
Yeah.
Sorry, Pat. Sorry. I was just. I was going to say on that. I was like, I couldn't. Other night when I come out, I couldn't believe it. Like, to be fair, it was crazy. But I think that's why people say about the Twitter verified accounts. Like when that's coming out in the 21st, where you can get the verify, where you prove who you are. I think that's a step in the right direction. That's an example of why it needs to be done. There's too many fake accounts, as you know, Paulo, on Twitter, isn't there? So
yeah, definitely. A lot of keyboard warriors as well, isn't there? But yeah, that is a good idea. Getting the verified thing, I definitely agree with that. We also got a question from Lauren. I think we've pretty much covered it, but she said, who was your favourite player in our current squad, which she said was Aidan McGeady. That was based on quality. I said, who was your favourite player in general? Is that different to Aidan McGeady? Probably be the same, I would think.
Favourite player in general? When you favourite player like now, like obviously in the squad now in general.
Yeah. She's saying basically. Go on.
I like Luke O'Neill. Like to be fair, I mean people. The thing I like Luke O'Neill, he gives 100%, and he can play in a lot of positions. He can play right back and play, and he hasn't played in the middle much, but he can play right back and play in the middle. He can play on the right wing. I think he plays playing goal. Luke O'Neill, he's that versatile. I think he's been a big miss as well. And do you know what? He's a lovely lad as well. I've spoken to him quite a few times. Dennis Seafront. I spoke to him in Tesco's a couple of times as well. He's a role model for all youngsters who want to be footballers. You know, any youngster who wants to be a footballer, look up to any footballer. That's the man to look up to. He's a gentleman on and off the pitch. He'll stop and give autographs. He'll take pictures with people, and he's a lovely guy. And he's like you see, any youngster who wants to grow up and be a footballer, that's the guy for me to be like. He's a top guy, top professional.
Yeah. Even if he has a disappointing game, I still give him like a couple of points higher rating just because I think he's I just love him. You know what I mean? I'm the same as you. Absolutely fantastic bloke. We also had at Jordan Newcomb 15, who's a lad. He comes on my channel regularly to give reactions.
Yeah,
you've covered some of it. What was the best and worst matches you went to? I think we covered that. But he's also said, what was your first game that you ever went to?
First game.
Well, the first one you can remember.
I think it was. I can't remember the year. I can't remember the year. I can't remember the year exactly. But my cousin took us to the game. It was at Roker Park, and I think it was against Oxford. But I can't remember the year. And obviously, I remember your Marco Gabbiadini's and Eric Yates and Colin Pascoe, all them players, Brian Atkinson, John Key. I remember all them, but that. You can distinctly remember it. I mean, as I was saying, I used to love like when you approaching the ground, like you're walking through all the houses and you see Roker Park. It was great. Now when you're a youngster, it's just like that's when I fell in love with the club. and then when you see the floodlights and that as well, that sounds stupid. You see the floods, and then when you get to the ground and start playing the music, it's just like, oh, it was just great. But I can't remember the actual games in general, but I just remember them times, obviously, because that was only a young kid, like back then. But I'm trying to think of the first game I remember, like, properly. I remember when I'd been to. It was probably just before we left Roker Park. The Everton game. I think just before we moved to Steam, like we got relegated that year. I think we won 3-0 against Everton. Chris Waddle got the last. I think it was the last one. Third goal, a free kick. I was at that. That was, I think, that was a sad day because it was our last game at Roker Park. I know, but it wasn't officially because we're doing another game. I think it was a testimonial against Liverpool. I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah. But I didn't go to that one, unfortunately. But that last game against Everton was sad because a lot of Roker Park was it was getting knocked down. We're moving to the stadium night, and there was a lot of memories there. I mean, a lot of won league titles at the stadium, and one of my favourite players as well, Brian Clough. He played there, and I would absolutely love if he come back to Manchester, because I think we would have been not just bragging about league titles. I think we would have won other things, a lot more other things if he had come back. I see he was a genius, Brian Clough. He was. I absolutely love that bloke, Brian Clough. I get started on him, I can talk all day.
Yeah, no, he is another legend. Well, as you were just describing Roker Park there, that brings memories back for me. I remember my first one was Roker Park, Zenith Data Cup against Port Vale, actually. We got beat 2-1, so not a great start for a fan, but it's typical. At least it prepared us for the future, I suppose. So yeah, that's basically it. I've got one more question which I ask everybody at the end of these fan casts. It's for the Sunderland League hate table. Now, if there's anybody, any footballer or any manager in any league that you really hate and you want them to go on this league table, who would you pick?
So you hate a former player, or just any former player in general?
Any player or any manager, in any league at any time as well. So it's just somebody that you, even now, it could be like a manager of another club, it could be another player, it could be a Sunderland player, an ex-Sunderland player. We've got a few people on the list already, but I don't want to sort of give you any clues to what everybody else has put if you haven't seen it. So, who do you think you would like to have on that league table?
I'll probably say Alan Shearer.
I'm going to go Alan Shearer. I'm surprised we haven't had him yet. Actually, we've had 11 votes. So we've had. I'll show you here. We've currently got Joey Barton with 7 votes. David Moyes has got 1. Steve Evans has got 1. Jack Redwall's got 1, and Gordon Taylor's got 1. So obviously, I'll get Alan Shearer added to that. I knew he would come along at some point.
It's just these pure hatred towards Sunderland. I mean. Obviously, me and you are absolute massive Sunderland fans, and we love the club to bits. And he hates us deep down, and we hate him. There's no love lost there. And to be fair, I didn't even watch much. I didn't even watch Match of the Day now because he does me flipping. I didn't. To be fair, him and Lineker, I can't even watch them because the two of them just obnoxious, and I didn't even watch it now. Since Sunderland got relegated, I don't watch it. And it's just I can't stand the bloke. He's just. It's just horrible. I don't like him at all.
No, I totally agree. I did actually have it. Let's have a look here. I've got Brand. This guy here. I thought I put that picture on the software. I thought that's who he's going to pick, but obviously I was wrong. I was actually
thinking about it because I watched a few of your fan casts actually with Mike. I watched the Michael one, Jacob.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about doing Joey Barton. I thought, no, because I'm just going with everybody else. I want to do somebody who I remember who I used to hate back in the day when we were playing Newcastle, and that time when he missed the penalty against Tommy Sorensen. And he hates Sunderland, doesn't he? He hates us, man. I mean, there was a time when he was asked to put a Sunderland top on for charity. He went, that's not worth wouldn't be worth my life putting that top on. Well, my feelings are also the same. I would never ever put a Newcastle top on, no matter what.
No, I totally agree, mate. But anyway, that is it for the show. Really do appreciate you coming on. As you can see in the little ticker thing down here, we've got Shaun Middleton's Twitter page. go over, give them a follow. I've got SAFCFanTV React here as well. I'm pointing at you. Go over, follow me if you don't already do so. There'll be also links to SAFCFanTV. Is there anything else you want to see, Shaun, before we end it?
No, it's been great, Paul. Absolutely fantastic. The time is absolutely flew, like, isn't it? I mean, just when you're talking and stuff, it flies. Like I say, I love your channel. You've got some great guys on there. Remember to subscribe to the fans. Obviously, SAFC Fans React. It's a great channel. It's absolutely free. Remember, it's absolutely free. It doesn't cost a penny. Looks like our channel. Go and subscribe to his channel, and also go and subscribe to SAFC Fan TV as well. We're trying to get to 5K. It seems like we're taking forever, but subscribe to these two channels because we've got great guys on them, and it's great for the fans to watch this type of thing. And it's been great having us on, Paul. Thanks. Been great.
No, that's fine. Absolutely fine. Really appreciate it. Like you say, I've really enjoyed it as well. So I hope everybody else has enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. You guys take care. And for now, we will see you later.